reference was made to the equality between men and women. And a reference was made to inheritance. But not a very explicit reference, I must say. Because at times we feel defensive. Let me get little explicit. Islam is criticized that, okay, you gave some share to women in property, but after all it is a half share compared to brothers. And therefore Islam is not having equality. Sons and daughters are not treated equally. As a student of law, let me tell you, Islam was the first legal system. Let me repeat. It was the first legal system in the world which recognized the individuality of women. Prior to Islam, she was not even a person. She was herself a property. She was herself a property. One property does not own another property. You can't say table owns chair and chair owns table. No. Bilal Saab may own both table and chair. Or Zakir Saab can own X, Y, Z, whatever properties you are having here. For the first time, she was recognized to be a human being. And that was a revolution. That was a revolution. For the first time, she was given choice in terms of marriage. She can refuse to marry. And the reforms which Islam brought in, Justice Parker of Kerala High Court has said, this meher, dower, is a price of women. It's wrong and rubbish. And the British judge did not realize the whole purpose of dower. The Holy Quran says, pay dower to your wives as a free gift. Gift as such is free. But addition of this adjective, free gift, it is to be paid to the women as a mark of respect. In the pre-Islamic Arabia, dower was paid to wife's father because he owned his daughter. That was the sale and purchase. That was the sale and purchase. Therefore, for the first time I am saying, women's individuality, dignity and personhood was regarded and accepted and recognized in law. And for the first time again in all the legal systems in the world, she could be a full owner of property. Even today in number of legal systems, she is not a full owner of property. She holds what in law is called life estate. That in her life she can use it. But after her death, it passes to the male lineal descendant. If you look at the Zamindari abolition laws or the agrarian laws, she is not a full owner. You have agrarian laws even today passed post-independence, which do not give a share in the agricultural land to women in the name of fragmentation of land. But going back to what Maulana Sahab did not want to explicitly discuss, 1:2 ratio. It operates against men. What to say of it being half, that my sister gets half a share of what I get? I can demonstrate in a minute that she gets more than me. But before I do that, let me tell you, in the Quranic scheme of inheritance, in Islamic scheme of inheritance, you have categories of heirs. वारिसान के टाइप्स हैं, category 1, category 2. On the death of a Muslim, the property is first distributed in category 1. These are called Quranic heirs. Of as many as 12, 9 are females. In the Quranic heirs, the massive majority are women. And allow me to say this evening, son is not a Quranic heir. Son is not there as a Quranic heir. Daughter is. Daughter is, son is not a Quranic heir. It's a different rule. If you have a son in class 2, then son will pull down the daughter, bring her to the class 2, and then share in 1:2 ratio. So assuming my father has left 15,000 rupees and I have one sister. So as per Quranic scheme of inheritance, how much I get? 10,000. And how much she will get? Good. Law of inheritance is said to be half of Sharia. If you know this law, you know half of Sharia. Most, Muslim law teachers don't teach miras. So I get 10,000, she gets 5,000. What a discrimination. Islam so outdated, outmoded, exploitative against women. These are the arguments. Now I have the liability to maintain my parents. She does not have the liability. So assuming 5,000 I spend on my parents, but her 5,000 are a fixed deposit. My 5,000 are finished. Then I will marry somebody. Therefore I have to pay some dower. Assuming I pay 2,500 dower. This has also gone to another women in the society, by the way, who is somebody's daughter. But I am left with how many rupees? 2,500. And then Islam says I have to maintain her and my children. So 2,500 will also go. So I have 0 and she has? You say this is unequal? You say this is unequal? Maulana Sahib rightly said she can work. Optional. Matter of choice. I said humanity means matter of choice. Matter of choice. Allow me to say this evening from my experience of American law. Till early 20th century, in whole of Europe and United States, whatever a woman will earn, whatever my wife will earn, will be paid to me. This was the law. She will go and work, whatever she will earn, to whom the salary will be paid? Husbands. It involved 2 generations of feminist movement to assert that at least we are entitled to whatever we earn. In Islam, whatever she earns is her property, you cannot even touch it. Not only that, whatever she earns is hers, absolute owner. Whatever you are earning is also hers. I want to give you one very fine point. I had written on this subject some 18, 19 years ago. I have a misfortune or good fortune, whatever I write, Indian Parliament or Indian Supreme Court understands after minimum of 12 to 15 years. Therefore, this year, Indian Parliament is going to legislate on this subject. This year, they are going to come up with a law on this subject. And what is the law in the offing? The Ministry of Welfare has drafted a law that whatever salaries husband get, 15% of this will be paid to wife as salary. This is the new law which is coming. Therefore, those of you who want to become IAS or government servants or professors, have a second thought. Business is better. Business is better. Who is paid salary, by the way? If I employ a lecturer or a registrar, one applicant of registrar is sitting here, I am holding selection committee on 19. I am the employer as Vice-Chancellor, and you are employee. If you want to get a salary from me, you are employee. Is equal or subordinate? What kind of law you are passing? Wives to become subordinates. Where is equality? There is no equality then. Then as an employer, I have disciplinary powers. I can censor you, give you minor penalties, major penalties, suspend you, terminate you. Terminate you. Now what is the logic? Why this law? Very interesting logic. The logic is that the household work which our wives do, she is cooking food for me, taking care of my daughters, ironing my clothes so that I am in university on time. In recognition of this domestic work performed by her, she is to be paid, what government is saying, 15% of my salary. Good. In United States, till today, just like in India, till today as I talk to you, domestic work is not recognized as work. It is not work. Because they say it does not contribute to GDP. And in India, allow me to tell you, women's work, which they do in the houses, women's work, and women, in your census, check the record. They have been clubbed together with beggars, with prostitutes. The Indian Supreme Court was shocked when they were informed about this, that women have been clubbed together as beggars and prostitutes. Therefore, this law, which reinforces their subordinate status, reinforces their inferior status. On the contrary, in Islam, she does not have any household duty. So many women are sitting here, my sisters. You don't need to cook. It is the responsibility of husband to cook. You should not be ironing his clothes. He should be ironing your clothes. And you should not hesitate in asking, I don't want to live with mother-in-law. I want a separate dwelling. She can demand a separate dwelling. And if you cannot provide a separate dwelling, at least a separate door. At least I don't want to see Sasu Ma's chehra. Isn't so? इनका तुम्हारी अम्मा का चेहरा तो मुझे अच्छा ही नहीं लगता, उधर से मैं आया करूं. That kind of thing. And in case she does work, she is to be compensated, but not as an employee. Look at the beauty of religion my Prophet has given. Even feeding children for 2 years, you know, all of us were given feed by our mothers, which is the best food. She is not under any duty to feed the child. It is your duty. Quran says it is your duty. If you want the best feed, the most hygienic one, she can fix the price. She is to be compensated. She can demand, okay, per day I will charge you 1,000 rupees, whatever. And since she does all this, 1/3 of your salary or your income, businessmen included, it is not Indian government's Ministry of Welfare law, everybody included, 1/3 she can spend without your permission. I am saying it at the risk of, my own, problem, because she is also sitting here. Reference was made to divorce. And again, Maulana Sahib was little hesitant. But let me be a little bit more forthright. Islam again was the first legal system which provided for divorce. Divorce is a blessing. If you look at the Hindu law or the Christian law or the Jewish law, The concept is once a marriage, always a marriage. Once a marriage, always a marriage. They are united, they would say, blood to blood, flesh to flesh, bone to bone, in this janam and in 7 other janms, that kind of thing. Janm janmantar ka saath kind of thing. If your life has become hell, you don't have a compatibility, you have to live with her. And she has to live with you. Howsoever oppressive, exploitative you may be, she has no choice. Divorce is a liberation for women. And therefore the recognition of divorce and making marriage a contract was a revolution in the history of rights of women. Once she was made an equal partner, so ijab qubul, she is an equal partner. She is to be paid dower as a mark of respect. And when divorce has to come in, it should not easily come. As my Prophet, peace be upon him, is on record that of all permissible things, divorce is most detestable. जितनी भी जायज़ चीज़ें उनमें सबसे ज़्यादा नापसंदीदा आपको तलाक. Yet if it is inevitable and there is no compatibility and you can't live together, then there is no stigma. A divorcee is no less. As in Indian society, we condemn her, look down upon him. She is an equal partner. In no way she becomes less than unmarried girls. And she can insist, let me say it with highest amount of respect, she can insist to have the same right to divorce at the time of marriage if she says, I want this condition to be incorporated in nikah. And therefore I would very much urge my sisters here, just don't sign on that nikah, with little bit of sobbing. Negotiate terms of marriage. Let us have a model nikah, whatever conditions you want. They can say, for instance, you will not take a second wife without my permission. It can be incorporated. She can say, for instance, I will do PhD or I will work, or you will take care of children, whatever, because it is a contract. It is a contract. So let her dictate terms, and if there are husbands who are willing to marry them on those terms and conditions, wonderful. It becomes a contract binding on them, and she gets the same right to divorce which a Muslim male husband is having. In any case, there are so many types of divorces where she can come out of marriage on this ground, that ground, this ground, that ground. And as to this pronouncement of husband, it can't be, instantaneous kind of thing. There is no instant coffee like divorce in Islam. If you are not pulling well, the first stage under Islamic law, the Quranic law, is talk to her. Take her on a long walk. Say, I have these issues, XYZ with you. If that does not work out, you may show your displeasure. If that also does not work out, you may show a little more anger. In fact, if I go by the Quranic text, you can beat her. But beating does not mean anything which harms her. It is a sort of admonition only. It's a sort of a warning, just showing your greater displeasure. Then withdraw her from her society. And if that also does not work, call arbitrators. Let the two arbitrators from both sides come, talk each other, what are the issues. And then only you will pronounce divorce only once. And wait for a month. If within a month she has done some good makeup or cooked some good biryani for you, maybe it's washed out. Isn't it? So it is such a system where reconciliation is inbuilt. And it will take months to reach that stage. And therefore you will never have an instant coffee like divorce in Islam. And Islam does give an equal right to females as well when it comes to divorce.